Coach Dow, let's go ahead and start with you and get your thoughts on today's ball.
Tough loss, obviously. I thought that, defensively, a big point of emphasis going into the game. We knew their style of play, and obviously having played them, about 10 days ago and watching them yesterday, they were going to try to pound it inside. They did that. Now, I wouldn't say it will, but, a little bit more than we would have liked. And then we knew they were going to pound the old boards. They did that. They ended up +9 on the boards, and they ended up having the advantage on second chance points. And they were +8 in points in the paint. Those were two categories that we knew we were going to have to do a great job with. And, for us, offensively, just the way we've kind of morphed, I guess, over the past month, we've been really reliant on making threes, and we just kind of had a really tough stretch. Second and third quarter combined, I believe we were 1 of 9 from 3, and plus we only got 3 free throws. So we weren't making threes, we weren't getting to the line. So offensively, that certainly made it a challenge. But certainly a ton of respect, for A&M Commerce and Coach Burton to bounce back the next day off of a tough game that they had yesterday, and like I mentioned, the team in the locker room. It's a good team. There's a reason they were tied with us, for 4th place, at the end of the regular season. And it was great to see the response, that we had, in the 4th quarter, to get it all the way down. I think we cut it to 1, if I'm not mistaken, had a chance. And but credit, to their kids, they made free throws down the stretch, and they definitely made enough just to kind of keep some separation. But, just a lot what we expected, tough, hard-fought game.
Nina, your thoughts on the game?
As Coach Dow said, we knew that they basically fed off rebounding and the paint, and we didn't really take that off, I would say, in the first half. So that really affected us, but I really like how we never quit, and that says a lot about our team.
Yeah, like the way we came back in the 4th quarter kind of looks at our season as a whole, how we came back with like a 6-0 win streak at the end of the season. And, we kind of did that in tonight's game. We just fell short.
Anyone in the audience with a question? Coach, you referenced the rebounding disparity. What would you put that down to? It wasn't a major thing, but it does feel like in the grand scheme of the game.
Yeah, I mean, let's just call it like it is. They're a little bigger than us, a little longer than us, at some positions, just maybe a little more physical at certain spots. And we knew just, given the makeup, and that's obviously a big part of their mindset, to their credit. Like they know how they're wired, I'm talking about Commerce. They know they have to do those things to give themselves a chance to win. And they had 4 different players get at least 2 offensive rebounds. 3 of them got 3. And we had to, every single possession, we had to find a way to match that physicality and block them out. And I know in the first half, I think we kind of caught up a little bit in the second half, but it was pretty lopsided in second chance points in the first half. But it's not that we didn't know it was going to happen. We needed to limit the amount that it happened. And again, and try to make them beat us from the perimeter. They went 3 of 13 from 3. That didn't hurt us. We knew that wasn't going to hurt us, but we couldn't let them get, as we call it, easy 2s, and they got a lot of easy 2s, or sometimes they shot free throws, and those are easy as well.
Your thoughts on the season and the team?
Could not be more proud of these guys. Told them in the locker room, obviously when, the course of 33 years as a head coach and assistant coach, you've experienced a lot of different things. I said, I'll be honest, I've been fortunate enough to have teams that might have won 25, 26, 27 games, but it wasn't enjoyable as enjoyable as this group. This was a group that we were picked to finish 7th. Obviously we come in as a 4 seed. If you just really looked, I know you don't play games on paper, right, Georgia K, but again, on paper, if you looked at what everybody else had coming back and what we had coming back, you might have said we should finish 9th, and we didn't do that. Okay, and obviously we had a lot of newcomers and 4 freshmen that on a regular basis were playing double-figure minutes in the last month during that 6-game winning streak. Obviously the newcomer of the year here in Nina, having a career effort, and it's exciting. And I know I mentioned to them, I saw a good quote, the other day. Kelvin Sampson, the Houston men's coach, was talking about the nature of coaching. Like it or not, you tend to remember losses, more than you do wins, because they hurt more. But, I'm I'm never going to forget that 6-game winning streak, you know, and you know, realistically, you don't want the bubble to burst. You know, you definitely didn't want it to happen today, but, you know, excited for our program, no seniors, you know, everybody back, you know, we got 3 freshmen coming in, so it's exciting, and you know, one young lady that redshirted this year, that Sophia Griego, so it's almost like having 4 new recruits to go with, and I think these guys could speak to it, but I think we learned a lot, you know, about ourselves as well over the course of the season. You know, I remind them on it periodically, we started out 0-3, you know, in conference, and we were looking up, you know, for a long time, and to keep pecking away, and to come all the way to 4th place is pretty exciting.
Anything else? Thank you all very much.
All right, appreciate it. Thank you, guys. Good job. Good job. You too, Nina.
Thank you.
No, just